Hi everybody, it's Julia from Matheson Travel coming to you this week from San Francisco. And I have been booking so many flights for my clients recently. And I just wanted to share sort of some of the insider tips about flights. And I'm not talking really about round trip, domestic. That is what it is. Especially in economy, that really is pretty much it is what it is. What I'm really talking about is international flights and different options you can look at. So round trip economy in international is also pretty much it is what it is, but you're not limited to only round trip. If you've got a trip to Europe planned that's one-way road trip, or a cruise that starts in one place and ends in another place, you don't have to spend a day traveling getting back to that original destination. You can do what's called an open jaw flight. And open jaw flights are basically, you leave from your hometown, you go to, say, Paris, and then you return from, Barcelona or wherever you go on your one-way trip. And so it looks like an open jaw with your hometown being the middle. And those really are no more expensive than round-trip flights. I mean, maybe a little tiny bit, but it's really just the two partial fares of the two different legs added together. So it's really not that much more expensive than round trip anymore. So it's definitely not something that you should shy away from or be wary of. Another option is to add a third flight. And this is what I do a lot of the times. I'm doing it when I go to the Caribbean. And that I'm flying to Jamaica, and then I fly from Jamaica to St. Martin, and then I fly home from St. Martin. And, this is going to add a little cost because you're adding a third flight, but it's really not that bad, and it allows you to see two different destinations instead of just the one. For example, if you're talking about Europe, you could fly to London, take the Channel, see Europe, maybe, but then from Paris, you want to go to Rome, and then you want to go home from, say, Venice. That would be three different flights maybe, and it really wouldn't be as bad as having to travel all the way back to one of those original destinations. It would save you a lot of time and wouldn't be that much more expensive. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about are airline classes. And, obviously you've got first class and then business and economy, which are obviously descending in order of price. And we've all been in economy probably, and, I know it's not the most comfortable, especially for overnight or longer flights. So there are other options, obviously. Firstly, there is this sort of emerging class. It's always sort of been an option, but it really is becoming sort of a third or fourth class. And that's like premium economy or economy plus, comfort plus. The airlines all call it something different. And domestically, it's really easy to just, add that. A lot of times you can book it even beforehand, but in international, I think it's Air France really that allows you to book it beforehand. Just like choosing business or economy, you choose premium economy. But most of the airlines, no matter what they call it, it's really just a matter of purchasing one of those desired seats up front that usually have a little extra leg room, and you get like premium boarding, stuff like that. They're up at the front of the plane. And sometimes it's just as easy as you booked an economy fare and you just pay a $30 or $60 upgrade to get one of those seats. Sometimes it's, $100 fee, and you really have to have an upgradable fare for economy. And that's something that really travel agents can help you out with, is knowing, there's, 20 some fare codes for every single airline, and of those, 20 of them are practically economy, and it gets really confusing. But so that's where you can make sure that you don't have the lowest of the lowest fare, because sometimes if you buy the cheapest, absolute lowest economy fare, you're not able to purchase those upgraded economy plus seats. So that's something to be aware of. The other thing, as I wanted to talk to you about, is when you do want to upgrade to one of those nice kind of lay flat beds or go in business class, because that is somewhere that you can actually get a lot of savings. Sometimes when you book with a travel professional, it's pretty, that's where the airlines will still there's some wiggle room, and where you can really save if you book with an agent. But the other thing is that not every business class is the same. And in fact, the seat configurations are something to be aware of. Whether you're booking your flight and are on the airline's website and looking at the actual seat map for your actual flight, or you use a site like seatguru.com, you really want to double check, especially if you're spending the money to fly business, which is, quite a bit more expensive than economy. You want to make sure that your seat is not backwards. United has lay flat seats that look backwards into the economy cabin, which to me seems awkward. I haven't seen one of them, and I'll definitely check that out. But if that's something that's bothersome to you, and you just laid down $2,000 or $3,000 for a flight, you want to be aware of that before you get to the flight. So make sure you check your seating if you are going to invest in business, and definitely check with an agent to see if you can get a little bit of a discounted fare, especially if you're doing something like an open jaw or a three-legged flight. So that's it for this week. If you have any questions, definitely let me know, and I'll talk to you next week.